Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the extended reading here on Patreon. I hope that you're having a beautiful day so far. So I'm going to be shuffling the energy oracle cards to tune in more strongly to the energy of our Patreon soul tribe here. So if you feel guided to do so, you can feel free to set an intention for the reading. If there is something specific you'd like to receive, you can do this either aloud, in your own mind, or in the comments. It doesn't matter where you set your intentions, of course, because it's all energy. Your intentions are heard and felt and responded to, and of course they play an important role in co-creating the reading moving forward. So I'm going to leave this reading a bit open-ended as we did in the first reading, because I really just want to channel whatever dominant messages come through for those of you who are listening. And right away we have community in the upright position. Divine Feminine, I'm getting from this card that you have been spending a lot of time in recent years alone. Even if you were physically around other human beings, you've spent a lot of time feeling like an outsider, or feeling as though many who were around you didn't fully understand your soul. I'm hearing that quote about how you have felt the need to translate your soul to others, and this has become really tiring and really lonesome. In fact, a strange message I'm getting for someone is that for much of your life, you may have found this strange feeling of actually feeling more loneliness when you're around certain people than when you are actually physically alone, because it's lonely to feel as though physical humans around you don't understand you at a deeper core level. But with this community card upright, you've been through this loneliness, spending a lot of time really clarifying your authentic core soul frequency. By the way, your guides are kind of inserting here for whoever I'm speaking to that this has taken a lot of bravery. Everyone has a core soul frequency, but most lose, or I should say mask heavily, their authentic self very early on, to the point where they no longer really can tap into that core essence. But you are someone who you divinely chose as a soul, that when you incarnated in this life, you would not lose yourself. You would not lose who you really are at the core. But because of that, you've often found it difficult, rather impossible, to conform to what other people want you to be, to what society wants you to be. And this inability to conform to others has possibly looked like a negative aspect of you, or even a curse. In fact, to your human self, especially pre-spiritual awakening, this inability to conform may have felt like a curse. There may have been times where you wanted to just go along, to get along, to fit into that box of normalcy that others had created for you, but something in your soul would never let you do that. Something in your soul would never let you fully assimilate into a broken world, because you didn't come to assimilate into it, you came to transform it. And I'm hearing that you're going to be massively rewarded for your bravery in staying authentic. And particularly, I'm seeing that reward here be in addition to other things, not excluding other things. But I see that in this case, you're attracting in really deep, meaningful, soul-based connections into your life. With this community card, it's like you are radiating this very magnetic signal that is going to begin attracting more really deep and meaningful relationships, friendships, connections into your life, whatever you're seeking. So I'm hearing to keep yourself open and to stay in your truth, to stay in the energy of who you really are at that core level, because that creates this magnetism around you. And I see others spiritually answering that call. Whether you've met these others yet physically or not will depend on your circumstances and situation. But I do see those others wanting to make their way into your life, and really beautiful potential soul mate friendships, or even for some of you, these could be romantic relationships as well. Again, take it however it connects with what your soul is desiring. I'm just getting you've really been holding space for these types of really deep, meaningful connections, because with Magician and the Mirror upright and the root chakra upright, you've been particularly, I'm talking here to the divine feminines, and of course we will speak to the divine masculines as well. But with Magician and the Mirror upright, this is the number 1 twin flame card, or the number 2 twin flame card. I have 2 cards that are really representative to me of twin flame connection, the yin yang card and the Magician and the Mirror card. But this card specifically speaks to integrating oneself at a deep energetic level, integrating the inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine. I got a name with the letter R in it for someone. So with this very high level integration work card combined with the root chakra, which is directly related to the manifested physical world, what I see resembled in those cards is how you, Divine Feminine, have taken this really high level, intense energy and begun seeding it, stabilizing it in a real-time physical way. Now, that's going to look different from person to person, but what I see here is you doing this immensely expert work. This is very high level soul work that for some of you may be very conscious, for others could be very unconscious. This could just be something, it's almost like your cells are doing, or your soul essence is doing at a deep unconscious level. But regardless, what's happening here is you have been balancing, integrating, harmonizing yourself energetically at this really high level. And lately you've been asked to take that really high level balanced energy and to focus it or channel it or stabilize it in a very tangible or visible kind of way in the physical world. So this could be you taking that energy and channeling it into artwork, into music, into your interactions with others in the physical world. You're taking that very high level energy and now infusing it into everything you do physically, everyone you physically interact with, every physical relationship and connection. And this is having an extremely powerful impact. I see that you leave your footprint energetically wherever you tread, wherever you go, whomever you connect with, you leave a powerful mark on that place or on that person that impacts them forever. This is also why anyone who connects with you, you've probably experienced this your whole life, but it's amplified now. It's especially true now and moving forward in your life as of when you're connecting with this video. The mark you leave on the soul, on the heart of others, and on places and things will resound out, will echo out forever. Meaning, when you connect with someone, even just as a friend or in a small friendly interaction, at some level, you've actually impacted that person's entire life trajectory in a positive way. And so I'm hearing your guides say, don't underestimate anything you do in the physical world, because everything you do now is infused with this very high level energy you've been cultivating within yourself, and it leaves a powerful impact that has a ripple effect far beyond what the human can conceptualize. Wow, very powerful message coming through. I don't know who that was for, but I really hope that message reached you if so. And as always, if anything in this reading does connect with you, I would love to hear from you in the comments under the video, either on YouTube or on the Patreon post itself. We also have the yin yang cards. So I've only pulled a few cards so far in your reading, but both twin flame cards have now come out of the deck. So what this tells me is many of you, again, not necessarily everyone listening, but many of you are on a twin flame path. And if you wouldn't consider yourself specifically a twin flame, you are someone who has a dominant soul trait of unconditional love, or a dominant soul mission of sharing unconditional love energy with the planet. There are many different forms of high level energy that can be shared with the planet as a soul. And unconditional love is one of these. It's a very, very powerful frequency. Many who are on this path of awakening and awakening others through unconditional love will find that, and wow, I'm getting the download that I might be doing a YouTube video on this specifically later on, because this is new information. I've never really channeled anything like this. So thank you to those of you who have played an important role in bringing forth this information, because those of you who are on this path of unconditional love, which for many of you may be a twin flame path. Twin flame is a very effective way to train oneself into the frequency of unconditional love, because it puts you in a situation where you experience such interconnectedness with another physically incarnated soul, an interconnectedness that goes all the way down to the core of your energy field. You are quite literally incapable of not loving this person, not feeling this person energetically, which of course doesn't mean that you physically have to connect or be with them. But what it means is it's teaching you to release every limiting belief, every blockage, every stored fear and collective wound around fully receiving and giving pure unconditional love. However, even if you do not connect as a twin flame, I feel that if you found this reading, unconditional love is a major theme in your life, because it's something that you came here to both learn and teach to others as a soul, to awaken the collective more quickly through seeding this very, very high level frequency of unconditional love. So what you'll find is, if you are on this ascension path of unconditional love, specifically twin flame or otherwise, you'll find that your life has been marked by unusually intense and deep relationships, whether it's friendships or in most cases, this will be romantic relationships. And of course, everyone has very intense connections and relationships. It's really the nature of loving as a human for there to be that intensity. But I'm talking to an unusual level. When you are one who is on this path specifically of unconditional love, you will find that you may have actually been in relationships and connections early on that were painfully intense, emotionally speaking, that really dominated your thoughts. You may find that you always connected with, as a child, the idea of fairy tale love. Others may have even considered you to be idealistic or naive in your relationships or what you wanted from relationships, but it's because you always understood at an unconscious level as a soul that there was and is this truly unconditional love frequency available for you to have and to share with other souls in relationship, in connection. You also might find on this path of unconditional love that certain things about your relationships don't conform to tradition. So you might have relationships where there are really strong 3D physical differences between yourself and this other person. There might be an age gap. There might be a cultural background difference, a financial difference, a geographical location difference. But this is because you, as one on this path of unconditional love, came to bridge these artificial differences that divide us. You came to deprogram the mentality of separation, bringing everyone and everything together into oneness under this umbrella of unconditional love. So I don't know who that was for, very random seeming message coming through, but it also felt very powerful for someone listening. So I hope that reached you if it was for you. I have Goddess of the Moon in the upright position, my card for the fully awakened, activated Divine Feminine. And I feel that Divine Feminine on this path of love, you at this moment in time, at this stage of the path, have really been reclaiming your power, activating yourself. I'm hearing activating your highest timeline, expanding yourself to the highest point, to the most expanded version of self that you can. I'm hearing building empires in your mind. So you may be someone who daydreams or visualizes a lot about your ideal self or your ideal life, but what you're actually doing is expanding the horizons of your imagination, which energetically is actually constructing these visualizations that will then manifest into physical form. You are in this very powerful manifestational energetic space right now, but it's because you've become very clear. There's been a very rapid, again, a karmic clearing, a density clearing process within you. And those heavy circumstances you took on or experienced in your life or your relationships actually were the places that you carved out with love that are now capable of holding more light than most people can ever hold in a single lifetime. You carry so much light in your eyes, in your being, in your aura, but it's because the light is where you've carved out these shadows that were very heavy and intense. You've carried more pain, more weight emotionally and psychologically than most people carry. But as you've transmuted this pain, transmuted these shadows and this darkness, you are now capable also of holding a greater degree of light. So now I am going to be channeling for the Divine Masculines. So what is going on for the Divine Masculines here? Man holding a heart in the reverse position. So I'm hearing closed off access. Divine Masculines, if there were any relationships, friendships, connections in their life that were karmically based, then Spirit, the Divine, the Masculines, Spirit guides here have been closing off access, meaning these karmic connections, relationship situations are no longer able to access the Divine Masculine in the same way. He's been closed off so that he can do what you have done, Divine Feminine, so that he can get really clear on who he is at a deep core level. To the physical form of the masculine, this might feel like loneliness, and in their loneliness, a lot of emotions come up, painful emotions that they may have been able to distract themselves from through these karmic connections, situations, or habits in their life that are no longer accessible. But the time is now, divinely speaking, at this cosmic level with patience in the reverse. And the masculine feels that. They feel that sense of urgency. They feel that it's time for them to do this energy clearing and internal clarifying work within themselves to allow these heavy emotions to rise to the surface. Again, Divine Feminine, you are most likely feeling a lot of this energetic heaviness from your Divine Masculine if you are connected to a specific Divine Masculine, or even just from the masculine collective if you aren't connected individually in that way. I want to know more about this anxiety card coming up here, representing those heavy emotions surfacing within the masculine. So I get that this anxiety card represents the internal tension coming up because, again, the masculine's in this void. There's been an access closed off from karmic people, situations, patterns, etc. But in this void, he's feeling this uncomfortable sense of urgency. So the masculine is feeling this urgency to do something, to move forward in some way, and yet he's being asked to first prepare himself with the root chakra upright before jumping into action, before moving forward, with the action card reversed here as well. So this could be leading to some internal frustration where the masculine feels this urgency to move, but really he's being pushed within himself. It's not so much the urgency to move or to do something as his conscious mind might be interpreting it. It's the urgency to go within, to allow that clearing out process to happen within himself, to prepare himself energetically and emotionally to then move forward into balanced, stable, harmonious action in the physical world once that energetic foundation has been built. Now, with strategy in the reverse position, at a divine level, the masculine here is being asked to release his need to plan out his future, his connections, his relationships, his life. Divine Feminine, many of you have been through this process of deep surrender. You've been asked to radically surrender in especially 2022, the beginning of 2023, to surrender your own human designs for yourself, your relationships, your life, to open to the highest pathway being intuitively given to you step by step in the present moment, rather than having it all planned out, mapped out through the conscious human mind. And the masculine is now following in that surrender training process, so to speak, that training back to the present moment and a releasing of the designs of the human ego. With Magician and the Mirror upright, I just feel the Divine Masculine spirit guide saying, let go of your plans, let go of your designs, let go of everything that you thought you knew about who you were or what you wanted out of life, and allow the energy to do its thing. Allow this energy that the Divine Feminine has activated within you, whether that's speaking collectively or individually, allow that to balance you out, to harmonize you energetically, to clear you energetically, because this is the true healing process with door to personal healing and happiness upright that is taking place within you. Mainly at this moment in time, because that healing process, of course, moves through and activates and clears different energy centers in the energy body. But right now I see that this healing process for the Divine Masculines specifically is activating their third eye chakra, their sense of intuition, divine sight, in such a way that it's beginning to inform their physical action steps, their physical daily life, the connections they surround themselves with, the places they go, the things they do. For a while, there was a third eye chakra activation taking place within the Divine Masculines where they would vaguely begin to connect with their intuition, with what their higher self was trying to communicate with them, but then they would block it out of fear, or really what the ego would label as logic or practicality, and they wouldn't actually take action on it in the physical world. This is also why, circling back to the first reading, when we discussed how some divine masculines could feel so much overwhelming love and adoration and admiration for a divine feminine counterpart, and yet not act on it, not move forward. It was that wall of, again, what the ego would label as practicality or logic, but really it was fear. It was a blockage. But now that third eye chakra activation has become so loud that it's actually beginning to naturally bleed into the root chakra. It's beginning to naturally inform their physical daily life, their physical action steps. They really can't hold themselves back anymore from beginning to be a bit more intuitively guided, intuitively informed, consciously, and in their daily life. And this is why, energetically speaking, many masculines have been closed off from accessing karmic people, situations, habits. I'm hearing it like disgusts them. It's beginning to really repulse them to imagine connecting in with their own former karmic patterns, behavior, people in their life. And again, this is because their intuition has been so strongly activated that they are no longer able to comfortably block it out. So what else is going on for the divine masculines? Well, although they feel blocked from accessing these karmic pattern situations and behaviors, connections, they see you, divine feminine, as being a bit guarded or closed off yourself, but for the purpose of divine boundaries, protection, self-honoring. And while they really admire that, it also creates a little bit of frustration or confusion as they are in this void, being prepared to harmoniously align with you, to meet you or connect with you in certain ways in the physical. But in this current void and in this current time of so much being cleared out within them, they're unable to approach that gate, if that makes sense. And they feel it. It's almost like they are being blocked from accessing even you, divine feminine, until they fully do that deeper level healing work beneath the surface. Yeah, with the yin yang card coming out on both of your energy fields, there is this I'm hearing an unspoken knowing of the twin flame bond, or of the divine love bond. So if you're interacting here with a physical person that is your twin flame, I see that even if those words twin flame haven't been spoken between you, even if your bond hasn't been discussed, you, divine feminine, have probably felt this intuitive hit that the divine masculine is now consciously recognizing that there is something very divine, very special, very cosmic about the bond that the two of you share. It's, again, this unspoken knowing between you. With community in the upright position, sitting on the sacral chakra, I see that I'm getting a strangely specific message that some divine masculines might be trying to make themselves go out, socialize, connect physically with other people, friends, etc., because this used to allow them to distract them from some of those feelings of underlying unfulfillment at a soul level. But now it's like when they try to distract themselves with the physical world, it only leads to heartbreak with the broken heart card in the upright position. Again, these old coping mechanisms are no longer working because they are now being pushed into their own healing without distraction. I do feel with storm warning reverse that many divine masculines are finding peace with the chaos of their lives, of themselves, of this connection, the chaotic feelings that they may be feeling towards you, Divine Feminine, that they may not understand. There may be certain circumstances, even of your shared connection, that just feel very complicated, very confusing, very chaotic. And I feel the masculines beginning to make peace with this at a deeper level, beginning to open to surrendering to that chaotic process of what's actually this energetic harmonizing happening deep within them. At a conscious level, with the crown chakra upright, the masculines are also becoming more aware of this deeper level spiritual identity that is beginning to emerge within them. And Divine Feminine, you may actually see glimpses of this. The masculine, if you are in communication, may at times give you some kind of look into his mind, into things he's been thinking about regarding life or the world or spirituality. But even if this hasn't been spoken between you, there is again this intuitive knowing within the Divine Feminine that the masculine is shifting in this way and continuing to awaken spiritually, awaken to his true self in this way. So I am now going to close this reading by pulling a card from the Rumi Oracle deck. So what is one final message? And this card really came flying out of the deck. Resplendent with grace. And I'm just going to read a little bit from the guidebook here. Greetings from my heart to you who are always with me. Hidden inside as the heart, you are the compass of my life. My course is your way. No matter where I go, you exist everywhere and in everything, always watching over us. My soul brightens in the darkness when I speak your name. Far beyond the body, there is an opening from my heart into yours. Through that opening, I send you secret messages like the moonlight. I polish the mirror of my heart to be your reflection. I make my ear the receiver for the tenderness of your words. You are in the ear. You are in the mind. You are in every burning heart. What am I saying? You are I. This is my way to describe you. Rumi. And the guidebook also says, this oracle comes to you with a message. You may be wondering if you can attain this next stage of growth in your life. You are already well equipped to do so, no matter what you might believe about the situation, circumstances, or others involved, even yourself. You have within your soul possession more than enough grace to see you through anything you are bold enough to envision for yourself, or for any vision you feel life has bestowed upon you. So pray, through unconditional love, to access all that you are, to be supported by those beings that love you without condition. Success is yours, but you must believe in your ability, your readiness, and your capacity to take this next phase of the journey now. So that feels like a great place to close this reading. And I just saw the number 3333 on the recording timer. So a beautiful closing synchronicity. I am sending you so much love today, wherever you are on the planet, whenever you are listening to this reading, because of course, time and distance do not exist at the energetic level. Thank you again, and I hope to see you here again in Wednesday's reading.